impact-rated product to compete with the Florida market, and we've done this. There's no fabricator or vendor from Florida that can do what we can in the Bahamas. Because we fabricate locally and we're a local-based company, we have the capability to provide better customer service than our competitors. With all the worldwide supply chain issues, we at Stormframe have improved our fabrication process and have invested in stock to be able to produce our orders in 4 weeks. We also keep in stock over 400 windows and doors at standard sizes for walk-in customers to purchase. Our professional sales staff is here to assist you with the complete purchase and installation. We also service and ship to the out outlets.
Thank you for your support, Bahamas.
Thank you for your support, Bahamas.
With the help of our authorized financial institutions, or AFIs, using sand dollars is as easy as 1, 2, 3.
Step 1. Identify your preferred AFI by browsing their websites or contacting them directly. Step 2. Download the free mobile application from Google Play or the Apple Store and then register for a sand dollar account. Step 3. Load money onto your mobile app and begin sending and receiving sand dollars or purchasing and selling goods and services.
We are pleased to be
your central bank approved
digital wallet providers.
It does not matter
which of us you choose.
You can pay for goods and services
wherever sand dollar is accepted.
We are all in this together.
Visit sanddollar.bs for more information.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
Hepatitis is the inflammation of the liver, which is the organ responsible for filtering toxins from the body, producing bile for digestion, and producing proteins and clotting factors. The most Hepatitis is the inflammation of the liver, which is the organ responsible for filtering toxins from the body, producing bile for digestion, and producing proteins and clotting factors. The most important cause of hepatitis worldwide is viruses, of which there are 5 main types: A, B, C, D, and E. Hepatitis B and C are major
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
Coming up in the news, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs opens a new passport office on Bimini. Plus, residents of the Lucayan Towers South facing a major decision. And hear how oil particles found on beaches are impacting the tourism industry. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening all, I'm Raven Davis, and as always, it is so great to have you with us. Welcome to news for the citizens of Bimini as the Ministry of Foreign Affairs opens a new passport office on Bimini today. The Minister of Foreign Affairs, the Honorable Fred Mitchell, and the Minister of Social Services and Urban Development and Member of Parliament for Bimini, the Honorable Obi Wilchcombe, on hand for this historic occasion. Our Desmond Saunders traveled to Bimini and filed the details in this report.
Residents within the country's southern gateway now have access to a full range of passport services. A new satellite passport office opened here in Bimini today. The move, part of government's commitment to decentralize the delivery of essential services in the country. Now the new office located in North Bimini at the George Beach Complex. Parliamentary Secretary in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Jamal Strawn, joins me here on the broadcast. A welcome relief for Bimini residents.
Yes, being into the northern tip
sector of the Bahamas have constantly lamented and complained about needing access to these essential services. So now, with the satellite office, we bring capacity. We build comfort for those residents of Bimini and also those residents of Grand Bahama who may also feel it necessary to come over to Bimini and utilize the services.
Now, some 50 applications already been processed. This is a second satellite passport office that has been open since the Davis administration took office for the Northern Service. The Bahamas Tonight, I'm Desmond Saunders.
Thanks, Desmond. Well, on to other news. Residents of Lucayan Towers South condos have been hit with a shocking ultimatum back in July. Submitted plan on how they will solve the issues of the deteriorating building within 3 days, or the port would revoke the condominium's occupancy certificate. With just 3 days left to comply, a condo owner shares her concerns as a local attorney speaks to the legal side of this matter. Jolanda Thompson-Evers joins us now with the latest.
The level of uncertainty remains high among owners of the Lucayan Towers South residents. This as only 3 days remain on what happens next with the popular Lucayan condominium. Attorney Osmond Johnson says that he believes the intent behind the notice is for the association to just open up a dialogue with them.
The Port Authority does have the power to rescind those occupancy certificates or permits, I beg your pardon. But in this instance, I do not believe that that is what their primary aim is. As was told me by the head of the building department, what they're really trying to do is compel the association to take the necessary steps to bring the structure into compliance with the building code.
In the notice, the Port Authority expressed that they understand the tenants and condo owners has had enough, but the question is, was this 30-day notice the best route to take? Here's what the attorney had to say.
I have sympathy for them from a moral perspective, because as I understand, everyone has a right to a place to live in peace and free from undue harassment by, any authority, whether it's the Port Authority or otherwise. There are still building regulations. There are still rules and bylaws that have to be adhered to. And in this case, the Port Authority has quite wide-ranging powers as it concerns both the issuance and rescindment of these occupancy certificates.
But for an anonymous condo owner speaking to the long-fought battle, she says that this is not a new issue, adding that the residents in the building were paying their maintenance fees. However, there was no transparency on how the funds were being used, resulting in court battle lasting almost 10 years. She says this could be a quick fix, but a legitimate board needs to be formed.
Just persons need to say, look here, I'll allow you guys to go ahead, form a board, and go ahead. If people say if they get that done, they are willing to pay their maintenance fee. Because most of these guys are Canadians, British, American. So they'll pay it one time, they'll pay it off one go, but they want accountability for their monies.
A plan has been sent to the port regarding repairs, and the tenants are asking for a 90-day extension. If the extension is not granted, the condo owner says that they will be in trouble.
We are going to be in a serious problem. We're in a serious problem because, as I said, it's not that these people can't pay their maintenance. One lady said she paid up 6 months already in advance. And then when this situation turned up, she realized that there is no accountability. She said, hey, what is happening there? So she hold on to her funds. And most of these people hold on to their monies.
For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Jolanda Thompson-Everest.
And we apologize, that is local attorney Osmond Johnson and not the Attorney General. Well, on to some other news. News of oil particles being found on local beaches still dominating headlines as many struggle to pinpoint the exact source of the oil. Today, the manager of a popular beachside restaurant is sharing his experience and those of his guests regarding this perplexing situation. Here's that report. The story all too familiar. Manager at Banana Bay, Danilo Rulli, revealing that the popular beachside eatery has been inundated with complaints regarding oil particles on the beach for some 3 days. That oil locked in seaweed, then on the feet of guests before being transferred onto beach chairs and other items.
They were upset. They didn't expect definitely to find oil on our beaches. You know what I'm saying? They come here to spend a few days on our beaches, and to find oil is pretty upsetting, even for us. I won't be happy either. You know, if I'm going to a beach, I need a nice beach. I don't need a beach covered with tar.
The ordeal not only frightening for Ruli, but thrusting the business into a precarious situation.
Our business is very delicate because when you work with the cruise ships, perhaps, cruise ships can easily cancel the entire venue. We will lose money, we staff ready for them, and then you have all these people come to work. And then basically you have to pay them and have no revenue.
Ruli says sanitation services raked up the oil-drenched seaweed on Wednesday, which is why he believes the complaints have tapered off. Now, last week, fuel oil was released at Buckeye Bahamas Hub Marine Terminal. Since then, residents have reported oil particles on the southeastern shore. As it relates to this, Buckeye releasing a statement noting that they are aware that petroleum-based residue has been found on certain beaches, and while the source of the material is unknown, they are actively investigating and have initiated cleanup efforts on local beaches.
We can't say we know where it comes from the sea. You know, perhaps, you know, environmental, government, they are the ones that have to investigate and pinpoint who did this. You know.
Now, this comes as a local environmentalist is also calling for an investigation into the activities of oil tankers in the Bahamas. Ruli had this message.
I hope this doesn't happen again. That's my comment.
All right, and as the narrative surrounding the disconcerting presence of oil in the waters along the southern shores unfold, pressing questions arise about the potential ramifications for the tourism industry. Tonight, the general manager of Pelican Bay Resort is sharing his concerns and the impact it can have within the hospitality sector. Rumiko Knowles is at the forefront of this evolving story and joins us live now with the details.
Well, Raven, it was a startling revelation that came to us by environmentalist Joe Darrell, who disclosed that he has received hundreds of calls and photographs from tourists. What was meant to be a day of sun, sea, and serenity transformed into an unsettling encounter with oil residues. Now, General Manager of Pelican Bay Resort, Magnus Alnebeck, says the presence of oil along the southern shore poses a direct threat to the island's tourism appeal.
It is horrible news, and one of the things that you come to the Bahamas for is the fantastic, pristine beaches and the turquoise water, and it's not pleasant to go into them if you come up covered by oil.
Moreover, the hotelier stresses the broader implications, recognizing that this unwelcome development casts an unfavorable spotlight on Grand Bahama during a crucial period, in a time when positive publicity is needed for the island's recovery and resurgence.
Bad news always seem to travel a lot better than good news. So the important thing now is to make sure we get this cleaned up as quick as we can, and then that we go out with a statement saying the beaches and the water is now fine. Because if not, when you Google beaches in Grand Bahama in a few months' time, you're still going to come across the stories, and before you know it, oh, that's the place that has oil on the beach.
While maintaining that the oil presence has yet to directly affect hotel stays, he remains pragmatic in recognizing the potential for future repercussions.
We need to get these cleaned up immediately, and then we need to make sure that we go out clear and with a lot of coverage that the beaches are now fine and back to being perfect as they are, and that is if not, we're going to have long-term effects.
Now, in a recent statement released earlier this week, the Lucayan Service Company Limited, LUSCO, acknowledged the recent discovery of trace amounts of oil particles in the vicinity of the shoreline and embankments. LUSCO's statement affirmed their awareness of the issue and emphasized their commitment to taking immediate action. Now, according to the statement, LUSCO has initiated an investigation into the matter to ascertain the source and extent of the oil particles' presence. The company has also made it clear that the containment and remediation efforts are already underway with the utmost level of urgency. Live in studio for the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Rumiko Knowles. Back to you.
Thanks, Rumiko. Switching gears now, the Department of Local Government renaming the Grand Key Administrators Building in honor of the late Roosevelt Franklin Rosie Curry. Our Shane Stubbs traveled for the special ceremony and filed this report.
The administration building here on Grand Key just got a lot more rosier. Now dubbed in honor of the late Roosevelt Rosie Curry, one of the community's most beloved residents is now memorialized. Delivering the keynote address for the occasion was Minister of Agriculture, the Honorable Clay Sweeting, who touted the former chief counselor and businessman as someone worthy of the honor.
There are many persons who live and breathe local government. These are the community leaders who embody and personify what local government really is. You dare not mention local government without the names of certain individuals such as Roosevelt, Rosie, Big Rose, Curry. Today is Rosie's day, and this is what we would have wanted for Grand Key to have to say and recognize him. So with this renaming exercise, the government is demonstrating our steadfast commitment to recognize Bahamians from all walks of life. His name will be seen, heard, and spoken for generations to come. They will know that on this day, that our nation's top leaders, past and present, paused in a grand way to say, Rosie, thank you.
Now, speaking on his longtime friend was the former Prime Minister, the Right Honorable Hubert Ingram. He and others, including Curry's daughter Renee, spoke to bearing witness to Curry's resilience in helping his community.
All I can say about Roosevelt are good things because I've known him for 50+ years. He's been at my side for 8 general elections. We conceptualized many of the things that you see in Grand Key today.
There were times when I just did not understand why he did what he did, but we just can't question it. Through his works, we see why he did what he did.
I had the honor of meeting an incredible Bahamian who loves his family, who made provisions for his original biological family and then the family he fell in love with and the children that he was responsible for, someone who loved this community.
His name will never be forgotten in Grand Key.
Solidifying the occasion was the unveiling of the plaque and a photo commemorating the memory of the late Curry. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Shane Stubbs.
A 10-year-old Grand Bahamian kid publishing his very own ebook. The Mystical Cavern story is up next. Stay with us.
You asked for it, you've got it. A new plant nursery, fully loaded with everything you need and extended hours. Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Saturdays, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
It's back to school with Bellevue Gifts and Supplies. Shop now and get huge savings on composition books, 15% off textbooks, workbooks, school supplies, and all teachers' aids. Bellevue Gifts and Supplies, Queens Highway, making going back to school more affordable.
We all need to save time, gas, and money. Shopping at Save More can help you do just that. Make us your first stop for all your prescription needs and medical supplies. Get all your health and beauty items at the same time. And don't miss our huge choice of snacks to satisfy your cravings. And the largest vitamin selection and over-the-counter relief products. Need diapers and other baby care items? First stop, the new section for makeovers, cosmetics, and beautiful jewelry will make you sparkle for that next special event. Save More Drugs, your more store.
Competitions like the Battle of the Brains, I think, are very important because it gives self-awareness to a child. For example, if they have to do subjects such as biology, math, physics, and chemistry, I think it gives them some type of awareness of where their weaknesses are, where their strengths are, what they can improve on, and what they can strengthen. And I think it also gives exposure.
Competing in this competition will actively prepare me for my BGCSE examinations that will be taking in a month, and it allows me to effectively visualize where I stand academically in a group of students, not only from my school, but from the entire district who are also preparing to take the math and science examination.
this is where it happens. Those moments that impact our lives. Giving you the information that you need this hurricane season. Wherever there is news, we're there.
Your #1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Welcome back. It's a tale about three fans finding adventure. From the mind of 10-year-old Levi Wallace, The Mystical Cavern is now his first ebook. Published in June, the fantasy adventure story has gotten some positive reviews and could even have a part 2 in the future. Shane Stubbs has the details in this report.
But it morphed into a golden opportunity for one young man. Meet 10-year-old Levi Wallace. He's a BMES student and the author of a new book entitled The Mystical Cavern. Inspired by his vivid imagination, the 6th grade student says it didn't take him long to curate the 21-page journey.
It was just like a fun activity that our teacher did like regularly. I was just alone in my room writing it. It was easy to like think about it.
He scored an A on the assignment and it was enough motivation to have it sold on Amazon. The book follows the journey of a young man named James who loves finding new adventures. That love leads he and 2 of his friends on an unforgettable journey. So far, the book has gotten 6 global ratings.
I feel super accomplished because it's catching the attention of people, so I guess I'm proud that it got like this popular.
And he needed little assistance, according to his mom, Gayla Wallace, which left her quite impressed.
He has a very vivid imagination. The amount of things that went on in that book and just to see the different personalities and the characters, I thought it was very grown. And then also, his choice of words, it was, amazing to see that he could actually produce such a good thing.
And she had to give the school their roses for providing such an outlet for their students.
Sometimes we put pressure on kids to do things, but I think it gave them the opportunity to express themselves through their actual classwork. To see them produce such good reads in that length of time, I think it's exceptional, and I think that it's something that all of the schools should actually do.
Now, while leaving the ball entirely in his court, there is the hopes of a hard copy to be published in the future, and there could even be a part 2. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Shane Stubbs.
Good job, Levi. In other news, BJC passing score continuing its efforts of helping students excel in the national examinations. President Jaden Newbold reaffirming the nonprofit organization's commitment to reaching students across the country. He, along with the team, advising during a press conference that it is important the public is kept abreast of the group's progress.
We believe peer-to-peer tutoring is more effective. We have seen the results. Our success rate has been really good. Majority of our students from our program pass, and they also come back to eventually be an instructor.
From my experience at BJC Passing Score as a student, I had fun. I could say that I learned a lot, stuff that wasn't completely in-depth in school. I went to the BJC Passing Score classes, and it helped me a lot.
But keeping the organization afloat is not without its share of challenges. The group is continuously expanding, and with lessons primarily conducted using an online platform, there is an ongoing need for sponsorship of electronic devices.
This is the organization you need to invest in. This is the time you can collab, sponsor. This is your moment to help young individuals become future leaders. This is why we need the electronics, the laptops, the tablets, so that every student can get the assistance they need, the full experience.
The executive members also advising students interested in their tutoring service to register by September 1st. And finally, in news this evening, Sweeting's Key Homecoming Festival is scheduled to take place on Saturday, August 12, 2023, beginning at 10 a.m. According to the organizers, this will be the first homecoming on the Key since the passage of Hurricane Dorian back in 2019. Public Relations Officer for the homecoming, Heather Feaster, says persons that will be attending the event can expect to have a great time.
Expecting people to come out, enjoy themselves, have a good time, and support us as this event. We're using it as rejuvenation for our community. Persons that are coming can expect to have a great performance from artists such as Melody, Fanchon. We plan to have kayaking, a domino tournament, and our signature event of the day that we're capitalizing on is going to be this fish scaling tournament.
Member of Parliament for East Grand Bahama, the Honorable Kwesi Thompson, and Public Relations Officer for the Homecoming Festival, Kermit Feaster, is encouraging persons to come out and support the event. They also say that the event will be filled with many fun activities and lots of entertainment.
We want to invite the entire Grand Bahama community to come out. These heritage festivals are extremely important for the individual areas, and East Grand Bahama really is known for all of the festivals. Each area has its own festival, and we are so pleased that Sweet and Ski has now been added to that attraction.
We haven't had homecoming in a number of years, so we are expecting a good turnout. Persons from the Key as well as the entire island of Grand Bahama. We want persons to come out and just enjoy the day, on the Key. It's a getaway, we look forward to persons such as family members, church groups, co-workers, reunion class groups, so we look for a dandy that day.
Your Friday check on sports is next with Jay Philippe.
Good evening, I'm Jay Philippe and welcome to sports. We have a whole lot of sports for you. Once again, swimming, basketball, but let's begin with track and field. Erin Barr ran the women's distance race. Barr, just 16 years old, finished 7th in the 1500 meters at the Junior Pan Am Games.
Overall, my performance was all right. I knew I could do better if it wasn't such a long season, but I give God all the glory and all the thanks.
Zion Campbell ran the 100 meters but finished 5th in his heat in 10.91 seconds.
I did the best I could do after coming from such a long season. I was so surprised myself about that.
Campbell came back and helped the men's 4x1 team to a gold medal performance, running 39.75 seconds.
After Carifto, we know what we had to do, and that's what we did. And we come back with the gold medal. We got our leg back from Jamaica.
Just a week prior to the Junior Pan Am Games, Zion Shepherd competed for Team Bahamas at the NACAC Under-18 Championships in Costa Rica. Zion came back with a gold medal in the men's 4x4 and mixed relay. He also got bronze in the 400 meters.
It was a good experience overall. Seeing the crowd, loving the crowd. I love Costa Rica, the crowd. Running for it. The coach who put together the team, he was thinking that they put Zion on first leg. They gave us the lead. They set up the team for us to get the goal.
Switching gears now in sports, the second annual BAF basketball tournament is set for this Saturday, August 12th in Jonestown 8 Mile Rock at 3 p.m.
We have currently 6 teams playing, all young men under the age of 16, and then we also have a 3-point shootout.
And last in sports, Marvin Johnson Jr. competed at the Commonwealth Youth Games in Trinidad and Tobago. Johnson won the silver medal in the 50-meter freestyle with a swim of 22.54 seconds, second behind Nicola Blackman from Trinidad and Tobago, who took first place. Also, Nigel Forbes did not leave the Commonwealth Youth Games empty-handed. He had a third-place finish in the men's 50-meter backstroke.
I was excited that I got there because I really wanted to get a medal, to get that pressure, not having getting a medal yet. I wanted to get that out of the way, and I just was happy to see top 3.
Ladies and gents, that's your quick check on sports. I'm Jay Philippe. Be blessed.
Doctors Hospital's reimagined primary care. We've invested to improve our health system, ensuring that accessible, affordable, world-class clinical care is closer to you. Your relationship with a primary care provider shapes the foundation of your overall health. Our new, modern primary care facilities are where critical diagnosis and true personalized treatment begin. With locations in Freeport and 8 Mile Rock, we invite you to experience the Doctors Hospital difference. Book your next appointment at clinics.doctorshos.com.
I love competitions like the Battle of the Brains because it fosters positive competition and allows students to make friends with like-minded individuals, and it also allows them to display their mental capabilities as well.
As for why I like the Battle of the Brains, I think it's important for students who all share the same passion for academics such as math, science, all the STEM subjects to get together and connect. And Battle of the Brains allows us to do that.
Have the following supplies on hand at the start of the hurricane season. A minimum 3-day supply of water, which provides 1 gallon of water per person per day. Minimum 3-day supply of non-perishable food items. Flashlights and extra batteries. A battery-powered radio to receive broadcasts that will keep you informed of the storm. A first aid kit. A 7-day supply of any prescribed medication. Don't be caught off guard this hurricane season. Be prepared.
They try to push rich on me. They want to push rich on me. They don't care in front of company.
The King of the North is back. Howard 104.5 FM.
Well, today is one of our favorite officers' birthday, ASP Stephen Roll. You are our Facebook friend of the day, and we thank you for your support. Also, our very own Filton Line is celebrating tonight. We also wish you a very happy birthday. And that is going to do it for us here in the North. On behalf of our entire ZNS News team, I'm Raven Davis. Be sure to stay tuned as the Bahamas Tonight continues.
Coming up in the Bahamas tonight, the National Report, DIR ups projected revenue. Emergency response funding boosted. Stressed corals. And in sports, Summer of Thunder action continues. The Bahamas tonight, the National Report starts now.
ZNS News is brought to you by the new BTC. Fiber is here. Faster, stronger, more reliable. Together, we are unstoppable. Switch today.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Akush Lopinder, and this is the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. Thanks for tuning in. The Department of Inland Revenue is looking to boost revenue collection this year, setting an ambitious goal of $1.6 billion. This in the face of falling just short of its collection goal of $1.3 million in real property taxes, collecting just over $1.2 million. Acting Director Shonda Strawn says the department has been making good progress, but there's room for improvement.
We're going to step it up this year. We don't have a choice because there are really no new fees, no new taxes for us to collect. So what will be critical for the department making its $1.6 billion forecast this year is really collecting on those arrears. So again, we do have extra things, like I started to say, the selling of liens, power of sale. There's some things we're going to be doing that we didn't do before, and it is simply because we really have to, yet again, step it up even more with the collection of the res.
The acting director of Inland Revenue says for business licenses, there are also changes in fixed penalties that now mirror those for value-added tax. Additionally, there have been changes when it comes to real property tax, allowing the government to sell liens on properties effective July 1st.
Real property tax really has first charge, right? So if you have outstanding real property taxes on properties, the taxes really represent a first charge on that property. The government now has the ability, or the chief valuation officer now has the ability to sell the liens. So we can sell the tax lien to a buyer.
Well, parents can look forward to what's become an annual tax break as they prepare to send their children back to the classroom. The VAT holiday begins in a week, and persons shopping for school supplies, hair accessories, computers, and related parts will pay no VAT for that period. Acting Director of the Department of Inland Revenue, again, Shonda Strawn, explains.
The VAT holiday commences on the 19th of this month, and it ends on the 10th of September. So we're excited about that. We know persons look forward to back to school, VAT holiday. So it's pretty much the same format as it has been in prior years, where persons will be allowed to purchase all those things they need to get the children ready to go back to school. The clothing, the uniform, the books, the utensils like the pencils and all those things will be VAT free.
Meantime, the annual labor force survey will transition into a quarterly report. This in order to provide more timely and accurate data for more decision making. The Bahamas National Statistical Institute's acting managing director, Narissa Gibson, announcing that the updated exercise begins this month in selected households here in New Providence, Grand Bahama, Abaco, Andros, Eleuthera, and Bimini, the Berry Islands, and Cat Island as well.
Through meticulous analysis, the quarterly labor force survey will be the official source of measuring information on the economic activity of persons 15 years of age and over. It will look at employment, unemployment, and other areas of interest regarding the labor force survey.
Now, officials assure participants that their information will only be used for statistical purposes and will remain confidential.
So each quarter, we will develop or introduce new topics, new modules we call it. So for instance, we'll be looking at child labor, that will be new for us, as well as informality is an area that we have done in the past, but we will do it in a more precise way. Policymakers, researchers, businesses and citizens alike, they use the information to make life better for us as a people in case of the government, and for businesses to help them to craft a way forward for their businesses in the event that they want to open a branch someplace else.
The Caribbean Development Bank's borrowing member countries, like the Bahamas, will soon be able to prepare for and respond more effectively to emergency situations. This following approval of a $750,000 grant to support the Caribbean Disaster Emergency Management Agency, or SEDEMA. Now, the initiatives to be undertaken involve training of emergency response personnel. The assistance follows the 6th assessment report of Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, indicating that small island states are increasingly likely to be affected by the most intense tropical cyclones, storm surges, droughts, and changing precipitation patterns. August, long deemed the start of the active hurricane season, with officials spreading the message that preparation is key, no matter what. Altavi's Munnings tells us more.
We are always in a state of readiness.
And for government, that readiness really starts in March, when all agencies submit a hurricane management plan to Cabinet. That blueprint comes in handy whenever a disaster strikes, particularly since the U.S.-based National Weather Service has upped its prediction from a near normal level of activity to above normal. The outlook now includes a 70% chance of 14 to 21 named storms, of which 6 to 11 could become hurricanes. Of that number, 2 to 5 could become major hurricanes. Further, current conditions are likely to counterbalance the usually limiting atmospheric conditions associated with El Nino. Minister of State for Disaster Preparedness, the Honorable Miles LaRota, detailed a recent assessment that listed Cat Island and Crooked Island with the lowest disaster preparedness levels. He says it's now time to identify and rectify the weaknesses.
When we talk about disaster risk management, one time ago we talked about the old police chief. Now you're talking about the age of the citizenry, their ability to handle based on their economic background, and that would exposes the vulnerability. So we're looking at it holistically as we deal with these islands. How does an island survive if the average age is in the 70s? If there is nobody there working or have the resources to hold on for those 3 or 4 days until help could come. And that's what we are trying to educate the public on what disaster risk management is. It's not just the flooding, but the ability of those communities to adapt and to stay resilient until external help arrives.
Wow. Public funds have also been allocated in the current budget to construct new homes for disaster survivors.
For those individuals who lost everything, had no insurance, that we believe that sometimes the government is the only intervention those individuals have between having a place to stay and not. And so they're already planned, so it's just about putting those funds together and getting those communities, in particular, Abaco and Grand Bahama.
Government has ensured the new Disaster Risk Management Authority Act now covers the entire Bahamas in the National Disaster Zone. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Altaviz Munnings.
We'll expect to see more coral bleaching, and for those of you totally unaware of what this is and what it means, it's a sure sign that corals are under more stress, increasing their chances of death, as Director of Environmental Planning and Protection, Rihanna Neely-Murphy, explains.
All of these climate changes that we're experiencing, heat, increased ocean acidification, all of this has happened within the last 100 years. And so we can put that into perspective as well. So the ecosystems that we have come to rely on have had now to adapt very quickly. And so that will present, like I said before, die-offs. Some of them will adapt. We have several studies right now that are testing fish and coral species to see how much heat stress that they will be able to tolerate. But again, the heat stress is just one part of this equation. We also have pollution that we must manage and development stresses that we must also manage. And we will see how the corals and the marine life will ultimately fare.
The coastlines of New Providence and Andros have already experienced some degree of coral bleaching, a development local experts are watching. According to the United Nations, the disappearance of coral reefs would be catastrophic, resulting in, quote, hundreds of millions of people around the world losing their main source of food and income. Well, Bimini residents now have access to essential passport services. The new center opened at the George Weish complex in North Bimini today. A number of dignitaries, including Foreign Affairs Minister, the Honorable Fred Mitchell, witnessing the occasion. Our Desmond Saunders was there.
A new satellite passport office opened here in Bimini today. The move, part of government's commitment to decentralize the delivery of essential services in the country. Now the new office located in North Bimini at the George Weish complex. Parliamentary Secretary in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Jamal Strawn, joins me here on the broadcast. A welcome relief for Bimini residents.
Yes, Bahamians in the northern sector of the Bahamas have constantly lamented and complained about needing access to these essential services. So now, with the satellite office, we bring capacity. We build comfort for those residents of Bimini and also those residents of Grand Bahama who may also feel it necessary to come over to Bimini and utilize the services.
Talk about some of the essential services that will be offered at this passport office. Some of the residents lamenting about how long it takes for them to get a passport. It eliminates the time and eliminates the hassle.
Well, exactly that. Streamlining, right? It now provides a resource and an avenue for persons not to have to travel to Nassau, spending funds on housing, on transport, on food. Now they have the comfort of staying in Bimini and applying for this essential services.
50 applications, I understand, being presently reviewed, and you have fingerprinting services?
Yes, so biometrics and biocapturing will also be conducted standard. There's a machine that is also at the office that will also assist in this. So Bimini is now definitely the gateway to the Bahamas.
And I understand Eleuthera, North and South Andros are on tap to receive similar services, and this is the second passport office to be open since the Davis administration took office, correct?
Yes, the first being in Kiadan.
That's right. And so that's what's happening here in North Bimini at the Bimini International Airport. Desmond Saunders of Bahamas Tonight.
Well, thanks, Desmond. Still to come, another significant drug haul. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight. The National Report. There's more news in a moment.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Folk Call Smart Pass, the smart way to pay at the pump.
Welcome to a world where hope is still loud, where dreams are still relevant, and determination has no substitute. Welcome to a nation where the people are still warm, resilient, and innovative. And Commonwealth Bank is at the center of it all, giving innovation and progress an extra push for more than 60 years. We're here for Bahamians because we are Bahamian. Commonwealth Bank, your leader in personal banking services.
I always find new ways to connect. Even with those friends that are very, very far away. It doesn't matter who you are. What matters is sharing. Because sharing a bucket with friends tastes finger-licking good.
Have you ever purchased a defective item and was denied an exchange or cash refund? Contact the Consumer Protection Commission at 393-7795-8 or our 24-hour complaints hotline at 357-7898 and let us help your voice be heard.
Hey, get up, stand up for your life.
For hurricane season, we got impact windows and doors. For protection, just come to our store. Plus we got tiles to pretty up your walls and your floors. We'll help you brighten up for that big bad storm. Porcelain tiles, blank tiles, mosaic tiles, a variety of styles. Before teens get right, they gotta be rough. That's why we got the best deals in the whole Bahamas. Hey, hey.
Another multi-million-dollar drug bust in the Family Islands under investigation. The second this week. The significant amount of drugs landed at Odyssey Aviation just this afternoon and placed in the hands of Drug Enforcement Unit officers. Officers acting on intelligence discovered the drugs around 11:30 this morning in waters near Farmers Hill, Exuma.
While in that area, they observed a white go-fast boat. Officials pursued the vessel, which eventually beached on the beach in Farmers Hill. The occupants were able to disembark the vessel, making good their escape. However, once officials conducted a search of that vessel, they discovered and confiscated 82 croaker sack of suspected marijuana.
Meantime, two 22-year-old women arrested for drug possession. Police executing a search warrant on a home in the Haven Road and Maxwell Lane area around 11 a.m. yesterday when they recovered a quantity of suspected marijuana. Up to airtime, the weight and value of the drugs had still not been disclosed. In other news from the police, a 26-year-old is counting his blessings after a face-off with neighbors almost turned deadly. Police say the Haven Road, Maxwell Lane resident got into a fight with his neighbor while at home. In the process, the victim was stabbed multiple times. The wounded man was taken to hospital in a private vehicle, and at last report, he was in serious condition. A 19-year-old has since been arrested in connection with the incident. Investigations are ongoing. Well, with more than 1,700 Marines in its command, the Royal Bahamas Defense Force is trying to ensure its men and women are given all the tools, resources, and training available. Tonight, Corval Pyfrom reports on how the force is also trying to meet the spiritual needs of its troops.
The men and women enlisted to serve in the Royal Bahamas Defense Force often encounter life-threatening situations, immense crises, and other challenges that come from working on the front lines of national disasters and emergencies. These officers sometimes are also dealing with battles in their own lives that can lead to an adverse performance of their workplace functions.
Because of these challenges, the Commander of the Defense Force has mandated that the chaplaincy office implement training seminars like this to have representatives at all of our substations and on board our vessels in order to render assistance.
Captain Glenn McPhee is in charge of the Coral Harbor base and knows all too well what officers under his command are up against.
They all face some unique challenges. Sometimes challenges at home, the family, sometimes abuse, substance abuse challenges, sometimes depression, distress.
Apostle Raymond Wells is the RBDF's chaplain. He says because of demand and need through this exercise, the force will now create sub-chaplains to be posted at all stations and deployments.
So the chaplaincy department of the organization is expanding the reach of the chaplains department by raising up sub-chaplains in the organization.
The training exercise is being led by Frontline Chaplains International, an American-based organization which provides crisis disaster response in addition to chaplaincy training across the globe. Chaplain Jonathan Carey is Frontline Chaplain International's regional commander.
We're not only looking at the basic roles of a chaplain, but we're also diving into topics like depression, trauma, disaster response. So it's a number of issues that will add value to what the Royal Bahamas Defense Force is now doing, not only in their chaplaincy, but in their first responders roles in the country.
We are seeing tremendous change. I've been working with, from I came here, some of the young men and young women with challenges who I watched transition and change, and their lives are now progressing and moving.
These training sessions here at the Royal Bahamas Defense Force Coral Harbor Base will go on for 2 days. They're comprised mainly of classroom sessions, but facilitators say they will be both engaging and interactive. The aim of the sessions is to make these Marines better at dealing with their own trauma and being of assistance to colleagues in need. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Corval Pyfrom.
Well, one-time crypto billionaire Sam Bankman-Fried has ruined his chances of continuing house arrest at his parents' Palo Alto, California home. This considering a judge today revoked his bail over alleged tampering with witnesses in his closely watched fraud case. Consequently, SBF now has to report to jail. In a hearing Friday, U.S. Judge Kaplan is cited as saying nonviolent witness tampering and obstruction poses a danger to the community and the risk of such activities would support a pretrial detention. SBF, accused of misusing money from investors and customers of his cryptocurrency exchange FTX, has denied claims. SBF was extradited to the U.S. last December and released on $250 million. His trial set for October. Well, Ministry of Tourism and Aviation initiative underway to elevate the aeronautical field right here in the Bahamas. That's the recent soft launch of the Bahamas Aeronautical Academy, a program intended to link those in the aviation industry with more resources both on the ground and abroad. Well, officials are eyeing partnerships with the highly respected Embry-Riddle Academy and Qatar Civil Aviation Authority. The Deputy Director General of Tourism shares more.
We are looking at ways to bridge the divide between the experienced aviators and mechanics and those who function and work in our aviation ecosystem and begin to pair them with the new generation of aviators. So a part of the academy would be your existing stakeholders, We're looking at improving their skill sets, giving them additional tools in their toolbox to become more successful.
When music, art, and culture merge, the Gombe Summer Festival continues on, but this time, in the mix of those turning out, is the tourism minister himself. Our Bimini Swain is joining us live from Bay.
Good evening, Makushla, and good evening, Bahamas. I'm coming to you live from Bay Street, and as you can hear, there is a lot of sound, a lot of action, simply because Gombe Festival is back on Bay. And let me tell you, there are food vendors if you're hungry, offering cool drinks if you're thirsty, but so much is planned for the second week of activities. And joining me now to talk about what you can expect from tonight's activities is, of course, the General Manager of Authentic Events with the Ministry of Tourism, Mrs. Nikki Simmons. Hello, Nikki.
Hi, Jamelina. Good to see you. Welcome.
So obviously, it's just picking up, getting busy. Talk to us about what persons can expect once they come on to Bay Street tonight for the festivities.
So Ministry of Tourism, we're presenting the second week of Gombe Summer Festival. When everyone comes out tonight, they can expect the best in Bahamian talent. We have a lot of vendors out here, but our talent tonight, we have the higher level band. We've got Cupid, we've got Avi, we've got Lady E. Everyone can come out and expect a real authentic experience.
And with this being the second week, are you seeing the boost that you expected not only from residents coming out, but visitors as well? I see a number of visitors mulling around, taking pictures, getting drinks and food.
We do. We have lots of visitors. In fact, we have a group from Venezuela and Brazil. They're out in the front. They're having a good time. They're showing everybody how they do their dances. And some of the actual dance moves are similar to our moves here in the Bahamas. So, yes, we have a lot of visitors. We expect every week we're going to see a large number of visitors coming to the Gombe Festival.
And obviously, when is the final week for Gombe Summer Festival? So people know if they're not able to make it out tonight, I think there's one more night that's coming up.
We have next week, that's the 18th, and we have the 26th. So we're having a party on Bay Street for the month of August.
Awesome. So if you are not able to make it out tonight, they're going to be going for a little while, so you have some time. But if not, there are still 2 more Fridays in the month of August where you can join in the street festival here on Bay Street. I'm Jiminy DeSwain. Back to you in studio, Makushla.
Well, thanks, Jimmy. Marcellus Hall now joins us in studio with a check on what's coming up in sports. Marcellus?
All right, thanks, Makushla. Coming up in sports for this evening, one of our local coaches in need of assistance. We'll give you details on that and so much more just ahead in sports.
This portion of the news is brought to you by the ZNS New College Freshman Giveaway. For more information, go to www.znsbahamas.com/giveaways.
Are you dreaming of the perfect summer getaway? Apply for a debt consolidation or personal loan to win an airline ticket to Paris, Miami, or New York. Win up to $2,500 in cash and more. For details, call 356-7764 for Nassau, 602-6811 for Freeport, 823-4374 for Abaco.
Everyone hates a dead car battery. Why not get a battery that lasts and has a 12-month warranty and is only $64.50? Intercontinental batteries are made with German technology, compatible with Japanese, US, and European vehicles, and adapts to warm climates. All right, good to go. These batteries are high quality, affordable, innovative, and only available at AID. Visit us online or WhatsApp us at 427-0026. AID, all you really need and more.
Hey, it's your honorary pump attendant back again with another episode on the do's and don'ts at a service station. Let's go. What you ain't gonna do is just pull up to any dispenser and put the nozzle inside your car without reading the signs. Because if you put the wrong fuel inside your car and the car mess up, you could be mad at us, all right? And then you have to walk or catch bus for about 3 to 18 months. What you're supposed to do is read the signs. We place signs all over the dispenser to tell you which fuel is which. Because you put the wrong one in the car, say bop, and you could be mad at us. You could be, oh, what happened to my car? No, it's you who ain't read. It say diesel, diesel, one word, diesel. You got up, and you mad at us. Read, that's all you have to do.
Trouble, it might drag you down. You get lost, you can always be found. Just know you're not alone. 'Cause I'm gonna make this place your home.
Bringing history to life is what officials at the Antiquities, Monuments, and Museums are making happen this time around. It's a program we started at several local forts. Our Bimini Swain took in one of the reenactments.
'19th century soldiers preparing for war. Just a snippet of what you could see depending on your visit to one of the local forts. Here's Director of the Antiquities, Monuments and Museums, Dr. Christopher Curry, on how officials are making visits to those sites a bit more interactive.
The idea is really to empower our youth who are enrolled in the Ranger program, and they are employed as our summer employees, to basically bring this program back to life. It was something that we did many years ago, and we're just trying to bring it back and give people an elevated experience at our site.
14 Rangers are charged with conducting 10-minute drills at the fort. The end result: once they're done on the inside, the team makes its way around the fort. Wayne Kelly is the captain.
Drills, Mom, the drills to watch that the riflemen, they could just do their drills and execute it perfectly. Yes, Mom, that's the pleasure I have in enjoying it.
It makes me happy to know I could interact and see tourists and be close with one another.
These visitors among those taking in the show.
It was excellent. They did a fantastic job. I was very impressed with it all.
I was amazed, you know, as a woman, and I had not ever seen that, so it was impressive to me.
As for keeping all the tours together, Dion Sims handles that. Here's a sample of the information guests soak up.
Well, the Queen's Staircase is absolutely phenomenal, built by hand by free slaves in the 1800s. The water tower stands 226 feet above sea level, houses 85,000 gallons of water, and the fort, second fort built by Lord Dunmore, built in 1793.
Dr. Curry says Fort Fincastle often has quite a bit of traffic, as evidenced by the number of tours and taxi vans on Thursday.
Well, during the peak period, and this is when you have 3 to 4 cruise ships in, we're usually getting between 11 and 1 p.m., between 150 and 200 guests regularly up here.
For now, the reenactments occur twice a week, but officials are hoping to move that up to a daily reenactment. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Jiminita Swain.
Well, reading is fundamental. We've heard it time and time again, and this has proven true in a part of society that may very well surprise you. Altavi's Munnings has the story.
Bahamas Department of Corrections inmates Catriona Gilbert and Ernesta Butler value the volumes of books they can now read in the Lady Clara Smith Female Inmate Library and Resource Center since its opening last year. And they thoroughly enjoy every second they get to expand their minds.
The spiritual books help put you on another level with God, so it helps you to get a peace of mind while you're away from your family. And then the fiction books, they help you to just take your mind out of here. And we also are allowed to go online, so we could get to go on the websites and see what's going on, so when we get out of here, we don't feel as exiled as we were. So it's a big leap, and we really appreciate it. We started now a project here that we'll be able to spend some quality time with our kids, and I feel as though more children books are needed because we can sit down and read to the children and interact with them better to help the next generation be readers, because we have a lot of readers here in prison. If my kids ask me, Mommy, could you help me with some homework? I could actually come in here and Google it and be able to put in my input, and I won't feel as lost about it, you know?
Keep my mind off of my surroundings, like really off of my surroundings, and block out all negativity. Keeps me calm.
And residents of the female correctional facility will get the opportunity to take even further advantage of what's being offered here at the Lady Clara Smith Library, all thanks to a worthwhile donation.
Reading is extremely important. It shouldn't just be having a glance at the paper every day. It should be taking a book that can either relax you or you can learn something from, or maybe do both.
Lady Angela Maury is a member of Women's Corona Society of Nassau. It's an international group promoting friendship among women. It's that strong bond with the library's patron that made the donation possible.
It would keep them busy reading, more experience, and keep them happy.
For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Altaviz Munnings.
E-commerce embraced by an increasing number of Bahamians. In fact, the onset of the COVID-19 crisis made its use essential even for those who may have initially hesitated. Businesses too understand the surge in demand, and so many are racing to meet and perhaps beat customers' expectations. One company ahead of the rest is CBS Bahamas, which has done a complete reboot of its digital platform, which according to e-commerce manager Brent Burrows improves the ease of doing business and gives the customer complete control. He says the new platform will be particularly beneficial to Family Island residents.
As far as I know, we're the only retailer in Nassau offering full order tracking for the Family Island customers. So what I mean by that is when you place your order, you're updated every step of the process. When we pick your items, when we mark them as ready for delivery, when they're loaded on our truck, when they make it to the dock, when the items end up on the mailboat, you're going to get an email with photographs of your items and a signature of who signed for that on the boat. It takes all the stress out of dealing with the mailboats. We make it easy to track your products.
Another nation builder laid to rest. Native Cat Islander, educator par excellence, historian, author, and advocate Eris Monaker today eulogized at Holy Family Catholic Church Robinson and Claridge Roads. From Cat Island to New Providence, Monaker taught at various high schools, including C.C. Sweeting High, R.M. Bailey, Government High, St. Benedict's College, and St. John's University in the Bahamas. In his homily, Deacon Andrew Burrows touted Monaker as a giant of a man who loved his country and family. Prime Minister the Honourable Philip Davis says his friend had a deep love for people and commitment to public service, adding that Monaker's devotion and legacy in education is unparalleled. Deputy to the Governor-General, Her Excellency Cynthia Pratt, among those who knew Monaker well and was profoundly impacted by him.
I think his name should be remembered, particularly in education, because of his contributions in the past. You know, we have to remember those people who really were in the trenches and built this nation from the foundation. And in my opinion, Eris was one of those persons.
A gentleman's gentleman, a role model. I knew him as a young boy in Cat Island. He didn't teach me, but he, as the headmaster, gave us all something to shoot for.
I worked with him at Government High. I'd only been working for 1 year teaching language, and he made me assistant senior mistress. That to me was so impactful.
Although busy building a nation, family members say Monaker's love of family never wavered.
He was one of those who brought us together as a tribe of Ben around our matriarch and patriarch, and he was big on knowing your family and who your family was.
Eris was a natural leader, and he had standards that exceeded expectations, and he did not take mediocrity. He didn't suffer, like Bahamians would say, he didn't suffer fools. So if you want to talk nonsense and play crazy, he was not the one.
Will return to the island of his birth for burial. Well, as we head to the break, we'd like to thank all our viewers watching us live on our social media platforms. And just in case you missed the news, be sure to head there to catch up. Stay with us. There's more after the break.
Vaccines protect those we love the most, our children and our grandchildren. I vaccinated my children to protect them. Getting your child immunized can protect them against diseases like polio, measles, whooping cough, and others. So protect your child today by getting them immunized. My grandchildren are vaccinated. You should do the same. Vaccinate your children and your grandchildren and make sure they are safe.
Vaccines are essential for new and returning students. As you begin back-to-school preparations, ensure that your children's vaccinations are up to date. All vaccines are available at all public health clinics. This message is brought to you by PAHO WHO, the Ministry of Health and Wellness, and USAID.
Join up for life insurance. Secure the ones that you love. Join up with Family Guardian. We offer full protection. Join the family. Join the family. Family Guardian. Protect the ones you love. A friend that you can trust. Family Guardian.
Introducing the Focal Smart Pass app that helps you to fuel up faster. Here's how it works. Download the app on the App Store or get it on Google Play and create your profile with payment details. Visit your nearest Shell station, open the app, scan the pump's QR code, select your payment amount, and begin fueling. Say goodbye to cash and cards because the Focal Smart Pass offers secure and convenient payment options right at your fingertips. Download Focal Smart Pass now and fuel up faster today.
Vibrant heart of the Bahamas, a common loftier goal unites us all. A place where love and unity thrive, where world-class technology is accessible and affordable, connecting every generation. We believe in our heritage and the boundless potential that lies within us. We believe in Bahamians.
Works Minister, the Honourable Alfred Sayers, says upgrades continue to correct Exuma's draining issues. This as a number of residents are still reeling from last month's excessive downpour on the island that's led to extreme flooding in a number of settlements.
We discovered, for example, that one of the outlets had been blocked. That was blocked, and that really assisted in terms of the flow of water from the creek. We also had to take extraordinary measures because the water, with the rise of the creek, roads were obstructed, interfering with students getting to school, people getting to work, and in some instances you also had the intrusion of water into some of the premises.
Now, apart from pumping excess water, Sayers says alternative draining systems are also being developed.
Wells are also being expanded, that is the wells system in Exuma. In addition, the engineers are looking at constructing retaining ponds, that is areas where the water can be directed away from people's homes as well as the roads.
Well, it's time now for a check on Family Island weather with Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean. Good evening, Basil.
Good evening, Patricia. Partly cloudy skies this evening. Temperature 88 degrees. The relative humidity at 64%. We have east-northeast winds at 10 miles per hour. The barometric pressure 1,015.3 millibars. That's 29.92 inches, and the pressure is steady. Temperatures around the Family Islands this evening, they are brought to you by Family Guardian Insurance Company. We're protecting you. 88 degrees at Freeport, Grand Bahama, and Green Turkey in Abaco, Marsh Abaco at 87 degrees. The Berry Islands and Ellis and Bimini, also at 87 degrees. 87s again in Harbor Island, Roxanne, Eleuthera, Black Point, Exuma, and Camp Space, South Andros. Fresh Creek in Central Andros, 88 degrees. 85s in Otterstown, Cat Island, San Salvador, and Rumkey, Georgetown, Exuma, a little cooler at 82 degrees. 85s in Ragged Island, Clownstown, Long Island, Crooked Island, in Betsy Bay, Maguana, 88 degrees. Ackland's 88, Matthewtown, Unago, 87, and the Turks and Caicos Islands also reporting 87 degrees. And your boating forecast tonight is brought to you by Builders Mall, home of FYP, the Tile King, and the Paint Center. In the Northwest and Central Islands tonight through Sunday, those winds will remain southeast at 10 to 15 knots in the wave heights 2 to 4 feet. At a low tide, that will take place at 11:59 tonight. You can anticipate a high tide at 6:31 tomorrow morning. For the southeast bombers through Sunday, southeasterly winds at 12 to 18 knots, wave heights 3 to 6 feet, maintaining caution flags in the southeast bombers right through Sunday. That's going to do it for your boating forecast. It's time now for your international temperatures, and they are brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. That's going to do it for your international temperatures, brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. But stay tuned, your extended weather forecast is still ahead.
Attention, college freshmen! ZNS wants to send you to college with some great prizes. Just WhatsApp a 10-second video of you holding the name of your college or university to 557-3488 by August 21st. Include your name and you are entered to win really big. For more details, go to www.znsbahamas.com/giveaways.
With the help of our authorized financial institutions, or AFIs, using sand dollars is as easy as 1, 2, 3.
Step 1. Identify your preferred AFI by browsing their websites or contacting them directly. Step 2. Download the free mobile application from Google Play or the Apple Store and then register for a sand dollar account. Step 3. Load money onto your mobile app and begin sending and receiving sand dollars or purchasing and selling goods and services.
We are pleased to be
your central bank approved
digital wallet providers. It does not matter
which of us you choose.
You can pay for goods and services
wherever sand dollar is accepted.
We are all in this together.
Visit sanddollar.bs for more information.
My mommy made sure that I was vaccinated because she loves me.
Getting our precious little ones vaccinated protects them from so many diseases like polio, measles, and whooping cough. Vaccines are safe and effective. Immunizations can prevent illnesses and even death. Vaccines are essential for new and returning students. As you begin back-to-school preparations, ensure that your children's vaccinations are up to date. All vaccines are available at all public health clinics. This message is brought to you by PAHO WHO, the Ministry of Health and Wellness, and USAID.
Health is the greatest gift. That's where we come in. Bahamas Medical and Surgical Supplies is a premier distributor of medical equipment, as well as medical and surgical consumables. Our engineers are always on hand, providing top care service that saves lives. We carry a wide selection of over-the-counter and prescription items, IV fluids, and other injections. Our products are state-of-the-art, and our entire team stays on top of cutting-edge technology. With more than 2 decades of dedicated service, Bahamas Medical and Surgical Supplies continues to be a trendsetter and innovator in healthcare. We have set ourselves apart by truly caring for our customers. We understand the intricacies of healthcare, and we produce spectacular results. We cherish our partnerships and nurture our friendships as we continue on our quest to help everyone maintain that wonderful gift of good health. Find us on 95th Terrace, Centerville, and now located in the Lucayan Shopping Center of Freeport, Grand Bahama.
This is ZNS Total Sports.
Well, welcome to your ZNS Total Sports Check on a Friday, everybody. I'm Marcellus Hall. Well, sometimes some of our best coaches often go unrecognized for all of their endeavors, especially after they leave the coaching field. One of those coaches going through a bit of a hard time. Charles Fisher digs a little deeper.
71-year-old former coach Jack Knowles letting the public know his present condition. A heart condition and bad circulation of blood that happened back in 2019.
My life has been wonderful. God has been wonderful to me because I lived to 71. I coached 7 different sports. And I can tell you, I've won a championship more than once in each one, and many persons around who can say that, and that's at all levels.
So for a person that was so active for most of his life, does he miss the coaching and the students?
I didn't get married until I was 36 years old plus, and that was because teaching and coaching was my life. Straight out of high school, I went into the teaching profession, and I picked up coaching because I was always in Junkanoo. I pick up coaching because I look around and you go to the ballpark, you go to the playgrounds, you go in the schoolyard, and you'll see the boys playing and learning skills, but you never see the girls because the boys, they bully them or they don't get a chance. So you're wondering why the female, which in my case at schools, they got athletic ability, but you never see that going to the next level from senior high into league. And so that's why I decided to start coaching ladies.
And having helped and led the way for so many, he says now there is little to no support at all.
We, as Bahamians, we give a lot of lip service, unfortunately. We tell I'll do this for you, or I'll do that for you, or check me later. And later never comes. You know, I did raise some funds through, I had a stakeout, I raised about $3,500, right? And, but a lot of that money that was raised, I had to cough out monies to get the material because some persons who promised that they will donate, some came through and others didn't.
Jack was scheduled to leave for Cuba today to see a specialist about his condition, wishing him the best. For ZNS Total Sports, I'm Charles Fisher.
Bahamas Raw Talent Elite taking on Xavier University in the feature game of the Bahama Hoops Summer League last night. The Elite trying their best to remain competitive, but things would get out of hand quickly. Xavier continued to pull away, and they get the one-sided win here. 123-58 ends up being a final. In the earlier game, Penn State's Nittany Lions facing off against the University of Victoria Vikes out of Canada. Much like the game that featured the Elite, this one would be a bit lopsided on the score side of things as Penn State able to take the lead early. They would build on it the rest of the way. They get the comfortable win, 103-77. Summer Thunder action takes the weekend off. They'll resume play next week. And a local civic organization giving back in a big way, Bahamas Roadmasters donating $1,000 to Pat's Senior Citizens Home on Soldier Road. The funds defraying the home's operational expenses. Proprietor of Pat's Senior Citizens Home, Patricia Moxley, grateful for the gesture and show of love.
Pat Senior Citizen Home, you know, we run with nurses and doctors around the clock, and we can host up to 80 persons. We have a male dorm, we have a open ward, and we have a private ward. So, you know, we have a staff of 32. And we're fairly making it, you know, trying to keep our heads above the water. So Mr. Hahn and his team always come every time and interact with the resident here, which we really appreciate, and also the staff, as you can see. So we thank God for that.
Members of the organization reading books, reciting poems, and spreading the message of hope to elderly residents. Representatives for Bahamas Roadmasters, Anastasia Turnquest, says the outreach is crucial.
I think it's very significant because a lot of times, you know, the elderly are
sidelined, forgotten, placed in the corner, forgotten about. So I think for them, it's a joy, I guess, to have people come and visit and spend time with them. And that's what we want to do, spend time, not just to come and give a donation, but just spend a little time, talk with them, chat with them, hear what stories they might have to tell. They may inspire us in some way as well.
And that's it. Your check on sports for you here on this Friday. Have a fabulous weekend. Look at the weather. It's just ahead.
This is ZNS Total Sports.
Attention, college freshmen! ZNS wants to send you to college with some great prizes. Just WhatsApp a 10-second video of you holding the name of your college or university to 557-3488 by August 21st. Include your name and you are entered to win really big. For more details, go to www.znsbahamas.com/giveaways.
Feeling hot? Let this week's specials cool you down at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets. Rainbow Whole Kernel Corn, 15 ounce, $1.19. Hillendale Eggs, extra large, 1 dozen, $2.29. Sweet cantaloupes, $3.99 each. Chicken drumsticks, 89 cents per pound. Coca-Cola soda, 12 ounce, 6-pack, $3.59. Donate your change to help feed the Maine Society animals at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets.
Vaccines protect those we love the most, our children and our grandchildren. I vaccinated my children to protect them. Getting your child immunized can protect them against diseases like polio, measles, whooping cough, and others. So protect your child today by getting them immunized. My grandchildren are vaccinated. You should do the same. Vaccinate your children and your grandchildren and make sure they are safe.
Vaccines are essential for new and returning students. As you begin back-to-school preparations, ensure that your children's vaccinations are up to date. All vaccines are available at all public health clinics. This message is brought to you by PAHO WHO, the Ministry of Health and Wellness, and USAID.
Hey, it's your honorary pump attendant back again with another episode on the do's and don'ts at the service station. Let's go. What you ain't gonna do is just pull up to any dispenser and put the nozzle inside your car without reading the signs. Because if you put the wrong fuel inside your car and the car mess up, you could be mad at us, all right? And then you have to walk or catch bus for about 3 to 18 months. What you're supposed to do is read the signs. We place signs all over the dispenser to tell you which fuel is which. Because you put the wrong one in your car, say bop, and you could be mad at us. You could be, oh, what happened to my car? No, it's you who ain't read. It say diesel, diesel, one word, diesel. You got up, and you mad at us. Read, that's all you have to do.
Time now for weather.
In our final look at weather, no activities in the tropics this evening, but we do have a tropical wave that's in the Bahamas. It's in the central Bahamas, working its way into the northwest Bahamas later on tonight, so we will see an increase in clouds with showers and thunderstorms developing later on tonight as that wave continues to advance towards the west. Our forecast for tonight, cloudy conditions are very warm with a couple of thunderstorms are developing late. 82 degrees for your low temperature, and tomorrow, this is how things are going to shape up. We're looking at the cloudy conditions to continue with thunderstorms and showers are likely in the late morning and early afternoon hours. High temperature tomorrow, 89 degrees, so you get a little brief break from those 90-degree temperatures. Extended weather forecast, a slight cool off into Sunday because of the heavy cloud cover and showers and thunderstorms that's in the mix. But come Monday, the skies will open up again and we take you back into those 90s. Those triple digits, I feel like temperatures will return next week. But we'll have some heavy cloud cover return the middle of the week on Wednesday. That should put a little damper on those temperatures as well. Makishla?
Well, thanks, Basil, and that does it for the Bahamas tonight. Thank you for continuing to make ZNS your first choice for news and information. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better than ZNS. From all of us here at ZNS, thank you for watching and good night. And we leave you with closing shots of the burial of former police commissioner Paul Farquharson.
Colon cancer is the third most common cancer affecting Bahamians. Your risk of developing colon cancer is increased if you have a personal history of colorectal cancer or colon polyps, a family history of colon cancer, or inflammatory bowel diseases such as ulcerative colitis. Other factors that can increase your risk of developing colon cancer are low fiber, high fat diets, a sedentary lifestyle, obesity, smoking,